Two organizations may enter into a contractual agreement involving an exchange of services and payments. Outsourcing is said to help firms to perform well in their core competencies and mitigate shortage of skill or expertise in the areas where they want to outsource. 7. In the early 21st century, businesses increasingly outsourced to suppliers outside their own country, sometimes referred to as offshoring or offshore outsourcing. Several related terms have emerged to refer to various aspects of the complex relationship between economic organizations or networks, such as nearshoring, crowdsourcing, multi-sourcing 8-9, and strategic outsourcing. 10. Outsourcing can offer greater budget flexibility and control. Outsourcing lets organizations pay for only the services they need, when they need them. It also reduces the need to hire and train specialized staff, brings in fresh engineering expertise, and reduces capital and operating expenses. 11. Do what you do best and outsource the rest has become an internationally recognized business tagline first coined and developed, 12, in the 1990s by the legendary management consultant Peter Drucker. 13. The slogan was primarily used to advocate outsourcing as a viable business strategy. It has been said that Mr. Drucker began explaining the concept of outsourcing as early as 1989 in his Wall Street Journal article entitled Sell the Mailroom. From Drucker's perspective, a company should only seek to subcontract in those areas in which it demonstrated no special ability. 14. The business strategy outlined by his slogan recommended that companies should take advantage of a specialist provider's knowledge and economies of scale to improve performance and achieve the service needed. 15. In 2009, by way of recognition, Peter Drucker posthumously received a significant honor, when he was inducted into the Outsourcing Hall of Fame for his outstanding work in the field. 16. Reasons for outsourcing. Companies primarily outsource to reduce certain costs, such as peripheral or non-core business expenses. 17. High taxes, high energy costs, excessive government regulation, mandates, production and/or labor costs. The incentive to outsource may be greater for U.S. companies due to unusually high corporate taxes and mandated benefits, like Social Security, Medicare, and safety protection, OSHA regulations. 18. At the same time, it appears U.S. companies do not outsource to reduce executive or managerial costs. For instance, executive pay in the United States in 2007 was more than 400 times more than average workers, a gap 20 times bigger than it was in 1965. 19. In 2011, 26 of the largest U.S. corporations paid more to CEOs than they paid in federal taxes. 20. Digital outsourcing. The digital workforce of countries like India and China are only paid a fraction of what would be minimum wage in the U.S. On average, software engineers are getting paid between 250,000 and 1,500,000 rupees, $4,000 to $23,000, in India as opposed to the $40,000 to $100,000 in countries like US and Canada. 21. In the last decade, Costa Rica has become a big source for outsourcing work. With advantages of counting with highly educated labor, big bilingual population, stable democratic government, the highest economic growth in Latin America added to the fact that it shares similar time zones as United States and it's only a few hours away, has made Costa Rica a big center for outsourcing. Companies such as Intel, Procter & Gamble, HP, Gensler, Amazon and Bank of America have big operations in Costa Rica. In the last 5 years there has been an exponential growth in this sector with companies offering outsourcing services in a wide range of activities, from banking and legal services to companies like Resursus US, 22, who is a pioneer in outsourcing services for architecture firms in United States. However, unlike typical sweatshops and manufacturing plants, most of the digital workforce in developing countries have the flexibility to choose their working hours and which companies to work for. With many individuals telecommuting from home, the companies that require this type of work do not need to allocate additional funds for setting up of office space, management salary, and employee benefits, as these individuals are contracted workers. 23. Implications for business management processes. Greater physical distance between higher management and the production floor employees often requires a change in management methodologies, as inspection and feedback may not be as direct and frequent as in internal processes. This often requires the assimilation of new communication methods such as voice over IP, instant messaging, and issue tracking systems, new time management methods such as time tracking software, and new cost and schedule assessment tools such as cost estimation software. Communications and customer service.